Okay, people, we are live. So this is an official call-in show. We haven't done one of these in a really long time. The topic of discussion tonight is, of course, going to be Little Boosie and his comments towards Lil Nas X. Okay, do you agree with it? Do you not? Do you think that Boosie is homophobic? Do you believe that homophobic is real? I want you to call in and tell me exactly how you feel. Now let me put the link in there so y'all can call in. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all some time. Come in. You can also talk about Saweetie and Quavo. You can talk about Kanye. You can talk about whatever else we had to talk about this week. Honestly, you can come in and chat about it, but we need to definitely discuss this because I need y'all to tell me: is Boosie homophobic? Is Lil Nas X too sensitive? Do you have an issue with gay people? Period. Do you have an issue with male gays versus female gays? We got a lot we need to talk about. Matilda said, Dark Thunder. Oh my God, you're so silly. So let me get their picture up real quick. Hold up, we got Boosie and Lil Nas X. Let's put them up. Damn, it's hot in here too, actually. All right, and share screen, bam. All right, there we go. Okay. Crystal said Boosie is homophobic. Okay, you feel like he is. All right, I hear you. Isn't this old? No. Boosie was just on the Breakfast Club this week. This is why we're talking about it. It's exactly why we're talking about it. New Goal said, I got my popcorn, hot fries, gummy bears, and a Coke. I'm ready. Okay, all right. We got our first caller here, so let's see. Let's go back. Akira, it knocks you off. Akira, it either knocks you off or you accidentally knocked yourself off. So just hit that link and come on back. Wait a minute, let me post the link again here. Let's see. Boom. Put that there. All right. Let's see. B. Nicole feels Boosie is closeted. Okay. Deborah said Boosie needs to leave that man alone. If they know how Boosie feels, why do they keep asking him about it? I mean, it's clickbait, to be honest. Like, even if you go back and you look at the Breakfast Club, literally that video, you see like a pride flag behind Boosie's head. So, what's up? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, you were on the air.
Oh, snap. Okay. Hey, Storm.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. What's your comment tonight?
I just kind of feel like people should just stop asking Boosie about his comments and concerns on the LGBTQ plus community. Like, we already know how he feel, you know?
Do you feel like he's wrong for feeling some kind of way about, well, male gays, because he literally had girls like eating box on live. So he ain't got no problem with the girls. So the boys.
I mean, I just feel like Boosie is Boosie. Like, Boosie is ignorant. Like,
yeah.
You know, I'm not saying sometimes he doesn't make sense. Like, sometimes I agree with some of the stuff he says about, like, I feel like sometimes there is like an agenda or a push, but not all the time. I don't think it's that every time. But I don't know.
Let me ask you, when you say a gay agenda, and I'm honestly just asking, can you describe to me how you're seeing that? Like, tell me where. Just a couple examples.
Okay, a couple of examples. Just like on TV, a lot of times I feel like there's like a push for there to always be a gay. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of like a thin line because I mean there are gay people, you know, in our lives everywhere. So I don't feel like they should be excluded from television. But it's like now in our society, there's like a push to have more, to have that seen more, if that makes sense. And it's like it's in the kids stuff now. Like it's everywhere, you know.
Okay. Because even like I notice now, I mean, of course, I don't have kids, so I don't really watch cartoons like that. But I do notice now, like I see And some cartoons, you know, the kids have, you know, two dads or two moms. You see it on Sesame Street. So basically, you see more exposure. That's what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's like it that all of it is an issue. I just think that in some instances, you like, oh, why does there need to be, you know, an emphasis on sexuality anyway? Sometimes I don't feel like there
Mm.
that needs to even be a part of the conversation. Like, it'd be irrelevant sometimes, and
Yeah,
I think
I
that's where
feel
he be
you.
coming from sometimes. But I just feel like we know he gonna say something ignorant. So why are we, you know, I just feel like people continue to ask him, like the Breakfast Club, he on Vlad every other week. So we know how he feels about it. And
Right.
people just asking him to get, like, you know, some type of, you know, a rise out of him or whatever, a reaction, so that that'll go viral. Their platform is not going viral. I feel like that's a lot of times lately
Mm.
what's been going on.
Yeah, especially with the Breakfast Club, because to me, I mean, it's no shade, but they've had their heyday ever since, like, honestly, because Charlemagne makes the show. Ever since he, like, decided he didn't want to get canceled, he went corporate, they really haven't been the same. Because they built that show on Charlemagne acting a plum ass fool. That's just what
Right.
it is. Because
Exactly.
Angela Yee sit there and tap on her computer,
She
and,
don't
you
be doing
know,
shit. Not a
and,
damn thing. Her
and
flat
DJ,
ass voice.
flat ass voice talking about her man that ain't never married her, and then you got DJ Envy talking about nothing. So my damn, that was shady, but whatever. My
It's the
whew.
truth.
But you know what I think it is? Think about
What?
this. I think that people are not used to a man, especially a black man, sticking with his opinion. Like, no matter
Right.
what, Boosie ain't changing his opinion. And I think that everybody wants to be the one to get him to say, oh, okay. Like, they want to get him to be able to just
Right.
to
You know what?
backtrack.
Yep.
And Boosie not gonna do it. Boosie a real nigga. I hate to say it, but it's true.
I mean, you're right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. He's not changing on his stance at all.
Mm-mm, at all. Whether you agree with it, I gotta respect that. So thank you. So, how do I pronounce your name?
Malicia.
Malicia. That is beautiful. You have
Thank
a
you
good
so
night.
much.
Okay.
You as well, Storm.
Good night.
Good night.
What's going on, Passionate Bliss? How you doing?
Hey, Storm, how are you?
I'm
Yeah,
good.
I was just agreeing with Melissa to a certain extent. Um, as Black people, we did not elect Boosie to speak for us, so I don't know why they keep interviewing Boosie and acting like he's speaking for us, but he's not. Um, Boosie is problematic, but I do respect the fact that he stands on what he says and he sticks with it, and you can't push him
Yes,
off of it. So I can respect that, but we don't all agree with Boosie. He does not speak for us. We did not pick him, and
I
so
know. I know.
and so there's that. But at the same time, I want to say people like Lil Nas X and a lot of people in the gay community, they're very sensitive. To me, it seems like, and they it seems like they want to, they're reacting a lot out of the persecution that they experienced in the past, and it doesn't have much to do with what happens today, especially with the whole the baby situation. The way they reacted, it's not really reflective of what the baby actually said. What he said wasn't
Mm.
actually homophobic, but I think they have a lot of pain from the past. And as a Black person, I understand that. I feel that because as Black people, we have pain from the past.
Amen.
Um, but but we don't continue to react. We have to look at actually what happened. The baby didn't actually say anything homophobic, but there was some learning points for him that he could have taken. And I feel like he needed a humbling a little bit to a certain degree, but he didn't need to be canceled. And I don't feel like Black people canceled him. I feel like gay people canceled him. But
Oh
they're
no,
still a part of it.
black people didn't because I'm not. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't listen to all his music like that, but
Mhm.
I'm not canceling him for that.
Right. I don't feel like we canceled him because as Black people, we're very forgiving and we understand that he's young and he's growing and he does need education. And I feel like even if you listen at his last concert with Hot 97, he did actually, indicate that, he's young and he's learning. And he seemed a little more humble. And as a young person, that's a part of growing up and learning to get along in this world. And I feel like he got
Yeah.
a lesson in that. and you don't necessarily cancel people because they're young and they're learning. And I don't feel like the baby is homophobic. I feel like he was trying to shade one person. Somebody was caught sucking dick in a parking lot. Somebody was caught sucking dick in a parking lot, and he was trying to shade one person. The thing is that when you don't put an address on it and when you don't call somebody's name, you hit other people you didn't intend to hit. And I feel like he hit the gay community and he didn't really mean to hit them. And so it was hard for him to backtrack it because he's young and, they're cocky, a lot when they're young. And it was hard for him to backtrack. But I feel like after a while, he kind of got it. And he was kind of like, okay, well, I'm growing. And I feel like I was glad that Hot 97 gave him a chance to walk it back and say, hey, I'm young and I'm learning and I'm growing. And
I agree.
As Black people, we have to make a room for them as young Black children, young Black men to learn and to grow. We have to make room for that. And I feel like Hot 97 did give him a chance to learn and backtrack. But this is the thing too I want to say is that gay people, I understand their pain because Black people have been really hard. And I will say the Black community we were the last holdout with understanding and acceptance of the gay community. Black people, we really were hard on them, but we have come around. And I feel like a lot of our gay Blacks, they still have a lot of resentment from the fact that we didn't come around sooner. And
that could be it too. That could be it. That definitely could be it too. Let me ask you this before I'll move on to Manny or Manny that's on now. How do you feel? Because somebody said in the comment, don't compare the gay struggle to the Black struggle. So what do you have to say about that?
It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. It's very similar. And I kind of see them piggybacking on it. It's very similar. But the thing is that, they were a marginal community. And just like they had to stand up and say, hey, see us. We want to be represented. Because a lot of Black TV shows, we didn't have Black people on TV shows. And personally, as a Black woman, I don't watch shows that don't have Black people on them. So people will say, oh, there's gay people on Black shows. There's gay people on every show now all the time. But the thing is that as a Black person, I want to be represented on the shows I watch. So as a gay person, I can see them saying, hey, I want to be represented on a show that I watch. So people will say, oh, it's an agenda. It's an agenda. But I have to say, if there's no Black people on the show, I'm not watching it. And if they want to say, hey, if there's no gay people on the show, I'm not watching it. Because that's a part of, you want to see yourself represented. So even though it's different because it's sexuality involved, it's pretty much the same. We want to see ourselves represented in what we watch and what's out there. So people say, oh, it's an agenda. It's an agenda. Gay people have an agenda. But, if you think about it, white people were saying that at one point too. Black people want to be everywhere. They want to be on all the shows. They want to be on all the movies. At the same point, we want to see if I'm going to pay my dollars, I want to see myself represented. So I can't blame gay people and say, hey, I want to see gay couples on the shows. I want to see gay couples on the movies. They want to see themselves represented if we want their dollars. And I think that's fair.
I think that's fair too. I think that's fair. Thank you, Passionate. If you want to come back on, I don't know how long I'm gonna be on. We'll see who call in, but thank you so much.
Okay, Thorn. Have a good night.
Good night now. Yeah, y'all check out Passionate Bliss on YouTube. Is it Manny or Monty?
Monty, can you hear me?
Monty, yeah, I can hear you. How you doing tonight?
Hi, I just wanted to ask you this. So I find it interesting that Kanye is having all these like shows, whatever he's doing for his Donda album. I really think is some type of ritual he's doing.
It is.
Do you agree?
Yeah, even the face mask, that's a Freemasonic ritual, and I can't remember like what it exactly means, but there is something about keeping your face covered. Damn, if I'm thinking off because a lot of fraternities do it too. Okay, fraternities gonna get mad, kiss my ass, whatever. A lot of fraternities do it too because you're covering yourself because you're about to go into a new chapter, right? And the people that are looking at you, us, the audience, we can't see his face yet until you can't see his true identity or his new identity until you're prepared for it. So the concerts are getting you prepared. Concerts, you doing nothing, but you're gathering a bunch of energy at concerts anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's using them people energy for his ritual, whatever. I just feel like it's some type of demonic stuff he's doing, but people isn't, I don't know, maybe we just too woke, because like when I talk about this with other people, they be like, nah, he just having a show, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no. There is no show that's just a show. I love being. Look, y'all know I love Beyonce. I've been to Mrs. Carter World Tour and On the Run 1 and 2. Right, that shit is nothing but rituals.
Yes.
No, like it's good, but it's nothing but ritual. Even when you leave, I'm like, damn, I feel different. Like it is what it is.
That's crazy. And one more thing I wanted to say was I just feel like in today's world with society, I feel like nobody can have an opinion. Like you were saying, like with the baby and stuff, like how he said what he said at Rolling Loud. I don't feel like he was being homophobic. I just feel like everybody is just being extra sensitive now. And I feel like if a gay person do something and a black man like disagree with it, he's homophobic, automatically homophobic. And he's canceled. And I just don't like it. Like nobody can have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't like how they did the baby. I don't think he's canceled at all. You know,
I don't think so either. And here's my thing too, right? I feel like this. When you say something the first time, that's what you mean.
Yeah. When
they make him apologize, it's like, come on now, y'all know he doing that because he got to do that. And maybe I'm crazy. I don't know if you're like me. I like to know exactly how you feel about me, good, bad, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to apologize. I just like to know.
Yeah.
So I hate it because even in comedy, right? I want to tell certain jokes and you can't because it's like, oh, you'll get canceled. So
exactly. Back in the day, you could say whatever. Now in today's world, you can't say nothing.
Can't say nothing.
If Dave Chappelle and all of them was saying what they saying back in the day, they would be canceled.
Literally.
Yeah. But that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Storm.
Thank you. You have a good night, okay?
You too.
Bye-bye. She had a really cute voice. Norris, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you too. Look, I'm glad you hopped on. Before you say anything, let me say this. I owe you an apology, and let me tell you why. The last time I had a call-in show, that lady that came on and disrespected you, I should have cut her ass off right away because she really was talking crazy for no fucking reason. So I want to say, I'm glad you hopped on. I want to say I apologize for not handling that. I just wanted to say that.
No, that's okay. You know, you can't control how everybody, act and respond to things. So I was okay with that. I didn't let that affect me. I know you didn't get that.
I figured, and she had said something the first time, and I'm like, okay, and then she just kept talking crazy. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. So what's your comment tonight?
I was going to talk about, Boosie, he has a right to feel how he feel, however, he feels how he feels. I'm not going to say anything bad about that, but I don't respect what he did to his nephew and his son, by hiring them grown women, paying them grown women to have sex with them. It's like,
let's talk. Oh, hold on, I'm reverberating there. Let's talk about it. He had custody of his nephew and his son, who was, I think, 13 or 14 at the time, allegedly paid a woman that he had sex with to have sex with them. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I just think, I don't understand. You can't sex the gay out of somebody. If somebody grow up to be gay, then that's them. That's their choice. There's nothing you can do about that. I feel like he should have let them have their own mind and feel the way they want to feel. He can give his advice on what gay is or what he think being a gay person is or how he feels about that. He can, prepare them, basically, and then let them decide if that's who they want to be. Let it be their choice. And I feel like he tried to steal that choice away from them.
I hear you, and I'm gonna say this too. Like I know, even with like my uncles and stuff, even with my old man, like that stuff that Boosie did. If I was trying to smash some at 14, 15, they'd have probably done that for me too. Like I'm not making an excuse for it. It's wrong, and it was technically statutory rape. But I just wonder why people overlook that but they're so afraid of the gay, but they overlook that because that was like a literal prostitute he got for his kids.
Yeah, that's like that he made himself look like a predator in my book. You know, and then you don't even know if them women had STDs or anything like that. You didn't even have them women tested. At least if you was gonna do that, at least have them women tested. Because if his son would have had, or his nephew and son would have had an STD, how he would have felt about that.
Good point. Good point. Now let me tell you this. Let me say this. In Latin cultures, right, especially like down in Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, when the boy turns 13, 14, the father will literally take the son to the whorehouses and pay for him to lose his virginity in that culture. So they do that in other cultures. So how do you feel about that?
It's just, to me, I don't respect it. That's not something I would do. You know, I feel like you can ruin your kid's mind. You can affect them. Somehow you can just affect their mindset. You know, and they end up making poor decisions, you know, later, or maybe have children early, children that they don't want.
Yeah, because Boosie's about to be a grandfather. Like his son got a girl pregnant with twins. So Boosie's about to be a grandfather. And I don't know how old Boosie is, but it's just interesting to me how the being sexually promiscuous as a black man is perfectly okay. If you're a black man and you gay, it's like the worst thing ever. And I'm like, technically, why is one worse than the other?
People, in my opinion, people can be whoever they want to be, whoever they decide to be, as long as you don't try to make somebody else, you know, or force that upon somebody else. If somebody can accept you for who they are, let that be their choice. Don't take it away from them.
I hear you. All right, Norris, I'm going to move on here to Ray. Thank you for hopping on.
Yep, you're welcome. And I hope you like that keepsake star that I sent for you, that gold star that I sent to you.
Oh, thank you. I have not checked my P.O. box yet. I'm going to check it before I head out this weekend. So I'm going to check it, but thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome. Thanks for taking my call. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye. Yeah, I definitely want to apologize to him for that. I'm glad he hopped on. Look, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Because that lady last time should have cut your ass off. But I blocked your ass now with your crazy talking ass. What's going on, Ray?
Hey, oh my God.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Good. What's your comment?
I wanted to say just this one thing. I'm not homophobic or nothing like that. I don't. I got 5. My oldest is 23, and my youngest is 10. So I got one boy. I got one girl and 4 boys. So
okay.
You say this. I'm not against it, but I don't want them to. And if that's their choice, that's fine. But let me tell you this. I have an aunt, and I grew up around her. I never knew she was gay. I didn't know it. I never knew it. It only made sense as I got older,
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, why is it a culture for the LGBTQ, whatever, that they have to express it? You know what I mean? Because my aunt, and she just was a classful woman, She was a person. She was a human. That's all. A human, a person. Just a person. And it's like, I see her around women, but she was never to where you have to be like, wait a minute, what's she doing? You just be like, hey, auntie, and you keep it, because you did it just wasn't something that was pointed out. We didn't see it, hiding it. She was just a classy person, dressed normal. She had short hair, of course. A lot of women have short hair, but you can't say, oh, she's the man and that's the one. You couldn't do that. You feel me? You could not point that out. And that's just the way her character is, So
okay.
Why can't that apply for the rest of them?
I mean, I hear what you're saying. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because what that side will probably say is, well, why can't we show affection to our loved ones too. Why can't we hold hands in public? We
Right.
want to do the same thing that the straight couples do, because
Yeah.
straight couples hold hands in public. So do
Yeah.
you mean affection, or are you talking about like
Just
when a gay man or a gay woman loses their masculinity or femininity?
to me, it's like it's a trend. Like, okay, like for instance, I have friends that turned gay. You feel me? And they
Okay.
wasn't acting like that. They wasn't doing all that before you was gay. Okay, you could be gay. You could still be gay. Why did you turn into somebody else? You feel me? Your character, everything about you changed. You still Chris.
The personality changes.
Right. What?
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I want to know. And then they get mad at us because I'm the real feminine. You feel me? I don't understand that. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? I would love for a gay person to talk about that with you, or answer that question, because even though a lot of people will get offended by that, I remember even hearing like my uncle say they don't have a problem with gay people, they just don't like the yas bitch, like they don't like that.
All right, I just all I'm saying is, and that's fine because I'm hood, okay, but it got to be a situation for me. Like if I'm at work, I'm not gonna be nigga. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait till I get home to around certain comfortable people or whatever. Even in the streets, I'm in the hood, okay, and I don't walk around like that. But if I'm around my home girl, it's going down. You feel me? But I don't understand that. Like I'm only speaking from what I've seen from friends. You know, they're still my friends. I love them to death. But it's just they're different now, and it's like why just still feel me? That's all I don't know. I don't understand that.
Okay. Well, that's something I can't answer. I don't live that lifestyle. They say I do, but I actually don't.
Yeah.
But I will say this though. I almost wonder if what you're seeing is like somebody finally like being themselves, because maybe they weren't comfortable to be themselves before.
Take that too. But now you gotta explain this. Why everybody that's gay, man or woman, they all have that same characteristic about them. And that's not who you are, because you wasn't like that before. Come on now. You got stay all their life, and you got some that just, went on ahead and come on out the closet, but you weren't doing that before you was in the closet. Now all of a sudden, and it's cool. I'm happy that you found yourself, but why did you do a whole transformation within yourself?
Wow, we would need a gay person to answer that. I don't know how to answer that, but that's
and that's all I'm saying, because it's repeated trend. It's all over the world. It's all over. You can identify them because they don't change their walk. They don't change everything about them.
Let me ask you this: do you think that maybe? I mean, we talking biology now. Do you think maybe like some girls are born with more testosterone, some boys with more estrogen, and maybe that's the difference you're seeing in personalities?
And some of them, I can give it to some of them. You look at some of them, you like, yeah, she can't help it. You know what I mean? Or he can't. But half of these gay people, they're changing because, okay, I'm gay. No, this is the way you got to act now. This is that's how I'm looking at it. Because I don't know. If somebody's gay, let me know. And I'm not being disrespectful. I would never disrespect anybody. No race, no color, nothing.
No, you're just asking a question. You're just asking a question.
I mean, come on. We all see that. I mean, I just want to know, why does the whole you change? It's okay. Like, I don't know.
Well, let me ask you one more before I move on tonight. Do you feel that there is a gay agenda?
Absolutely. Okay. Now, I'm 43. Okay. So in the 90s, you could not come out and say you gay. You get beat, killed, or whatever, right? You're gonna have a heart. You're gonna get made fun of. You're just not gonna come out with that. But nowadays, and I'm happy that I applaud the gay community, because nowadays it's like I don't give a fuck. Look, I'm what you want. And they whoop your ass. You feel me? If you do anything, so it's like I'm happy that they're getting better with being able to come open, and people are accepting that or dealing with it, or just saying, you know what, so what? That's who they are. But I always wanted to know that now, except for the gay people that I guess you got models. What's his name? With the he was on Tyra Banks' modeling show. I used to watch it all the time. And
Oh,
I
male model, male model.
yeah, he teach the girls how to catwalk.
Oh, Miss J, Miss
Miss
J.
J, that's my girl right there. You feel me? So it's like she has to be that way because look at the industry she's in. You know, she's a professional model, so she's a professional walker, if I could say. You know, so she's gonna have that. Mm, you know what I mean? So I just don't know. I'm confused on that. Why does your whole mindset change just because you found out who you are? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
All of
So
it's not just
I
two or three, it's all of them. They all follow suit with that.
well, I'm gonna say this. I'm sure that I got. I mean, I know I got gay people that watch me,
Mhm.
and hey,
I wish
y'all know.
I wish they'll comment and let me know.
Do you want me to bring one up while you won't hear?
Please.
Okay,
Please. I,
let me say.
I've been struggling with that for at least 10 years.
I think my boy Kenneth is ready to answer you. Let me say this before I get up here. LGBT, I love y'all. Y'all booked me for a Pride event. I'm ready to get that paper. I'm gonna fuck what they talking about. I'm ready to perform. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Let me let me bring Kenneth up.
I be scared to ask and they be like, oh, she thinks she
What's
knows.
going on, Kenneth?
What's going on, y'all?
Hey,
Good
Hey,
evening.
hey, are you able to answer Ray's question?
What is the question precisely?
Oh, I'm gonna let y'all handle that. Y'all go for it.
like I was talking, just saying like 2 seconds ago, it's like, and don't get me wrong, I'm gonna always say this because I want you to understand I am no way racist against anybody, any whatever you choose. I love my people. You feel me? Anybody. I have gay friends and whatever. I know that sounds kind of like what the white people say to us, but anyway, all I'm saying is whether you were born that way, whether you decided you want to come out the closet all of a sudden, no matter however it hits you, like the Holy Spirit, cool. But why do every gay? I ain't gonna say every, but most of them, it's totally you're a totally different person now. You're not the same person. Your name is still Rick, John, Jay, Jill. You still who your mama birthed you, but now it's like your character. Everything has changed just because you want allowing us to know, you know, what you've been I guess hiding, or who you really are, and that's cool. But all of them do it. All of them do that.
All right. Let
Please.
me let me answer the question, babe. All right. So I got a couple examples for you. So when you were in high school, middle school,
Mm,
elementary school, well, you're a lady, so maybe
I was playing.
your people didn't do that. But as boys, when you grow up, you have your uncles, your cousins, uh, shit, your fathers if they're in the picture, and they're always asking you, how many girlfriends you got? You got a girlfriend yet?
mm,
How many girls? You hit that yet? Like it's a constant push,
yeah.
a constant push. Sex is pushed on boys at an early age from their mothers, their fathers, their cousins at an
Mm,
early age, like out the gate. Okay. Um, so as you're a child going into teenagehood, or however you say it, you can talk to your friends about your crush.
mm-hmm.
Girl, I got a crush on Blasey blah, or I'm taking this person out on a date, or I want a Blasey blah. Gay people can't talk like that
Why not?
because obviously the person that they like
So
is
listen.
gay.
So,
Wait,
so
let,
right
let
now,
me finish.
you know,
Let me finish. The person that uh gay people can't express who they like because 9 times out of 10 the person who they like is not either gay or out. They don't talk like that in middle school. You talk like that, someone's gonna tell it.
yeah.
And then you're gonna get into a fight, you might get jumped.
Mm.
Depending on what state you live in, you might get cut. I live in New
Kind of
York.
deep out here with that, and it's cool. It's just like why everybody doing the same thing, like
So
self in so many
let
words.
me I'm trying to answer your question.
Mm,
As I said, when you're going throughout those years in school, you can go on your first date. You can take your prom, your guy friend to prom. You can go to the dance together. You can have all of these experiences as teenagers, what normal teenagers do.
Mm-hmm.
Gay people can't, I say guys, because it's different for girls.
For girls, yeah.
Guys really can't do that out in the school setting, in the neighborhood setting, because nobody wants to be gay. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? People's going to come at you. I
Mm-hmm.
live in New York, and it's supposed to be the freest place in the world. But hey, someone threatened to shoot me last year walking to Harlem just for looking like this. I ain't do nothing,
Damn.
but
Yeah.
just looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People minding their business, and this is a black person who threatened me. So
Right.
back to the school, you're going through all of these phases naturally with your first dates and your first kiss, and
Mm-hmm.
talking about your crush and all of that as a normal person.
Right.
Like I said, gay guys can't do that in this world because there will be consequences behind it. So you take someone like me, I wanted to dye my hair in middle school. I wanted to look like Cisco. I wanted to be the last dragon and shit.
Oh wow.
I want to look like Cisco. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to hit it with the heat. You know what I'm saying? But my parents wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me get locked. I had to dress in khakis and button-up shirts. I couldn't express myself. You know what I'm saying? I
It's
couldn't play with Barbie dolls. I wanted to play with Barbie dolls. They
but
wouldn't let me play with. Let me finish.
okay.
They wouldn't let me play with Barbie dolls. A lot of things were restricted. I grew up in North Carolina, a very small town, 12,000 people, very restricted. Everybody knows everybody. Okay. So when you say why when people come into themselves, I knew I was gay since I was a little kid, but I couldn't. Hey guys, hey family, I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? No matter people call me gay, they call me faggot. They go, oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not, because it's not accepted. Okay. And so when you have someone that comes out, they're finally free. You know, 9 times out of 10, they go off to college, they get an undergrad, you know what I'm saying? They get free, they start expressing themselves, they start wearing all types of shit, ass out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Expressing themselves to see what it is that they've been pushing down for what, 15, 16, 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say why does everyone have to come out? One, people come out. Well, one, because people like I'm not saying like you, but people in our community, there's always a question about who's gay.
Yeah.
He's gay. I heard he like boys. Look how he walk.
Well,
Look at his
wait a minute.
nails done.
I'm talking
He like that.
about
If
the
there's always a
gay.
question,
Pisses us off. But go ahead.
there's always a question about what man is gay in
Yeah.
your communities, in your neighborhoods. Okay. So when you say, oh, why you gotta come out the closet? Why you gotta make an announcement? Nigga, y'all been asking for 15 fucking years who's gay. Y'all been asking for years. You hear me? Years.
Yeah.
And then when they come out, y'all like, why you make an announcement? Y'all wanted to know.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying, hey, I'm messing with this dude, and I'm the top, and I'm the bottom, and I'm doing this. No. It is the straight people who interject themselves into
Okay.
behind people's bedrooms, and they imagine what's going on. They say, "Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's that." How would you know it's nasty?
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch porn?
Yeah,
Are you imagining it in your mind? Before someone make a couch, they gotta imagine it in their mind.
Yeah.
Everything comes from the mind. So you're imagining the scenes, the gay scenes, and that's why you're like, oh, that's nasty, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Why is it
All
in
right,
your
all
mind?
right, y'all. 2 minute warning. I love y'all. 2 minute warning though. Keep going. 2 minutes.
Let me say
Oh,
this.
sorry. All right.
Just like you were saying, it's hard to come out. It's hard to, expose it to family and all that. And this is what I say, like, as a female, because I don't know what it's like to be a man. When you growing up, like, I couldn't paint my nails. I couldn't wear lip gloss. You don't even ask about no hair weave because that ain't happening. And it's like it's stuff that we can't come out with as well. So we do it out there, get to school, take them down corduroys off, put that skirt on, girl. You feel me? So you just
But
I just
are you getting beat up in school for wearing lip gloss? Are you getting harassed in school for changing your skirt when you get on the bus? Are you getting threatened to get shot? Is your mom going to kick you out of the family because you put on pants and you're supposed to wear dresses? You're comparing apples to oranges. It's two totally different things. You have one group who's at risk of getting killed, of getting murdered, of getting sliced, of getting jumped, of getting excommunicated from your family. And then on the other side, you're talking about what? A punishment?
Okay, so if you like right now,
all right, yeah, 1 minute.
in these times, right, the gay community is bucking. They don't care, and it should have been did that. You know, should have been did that. And I understand what you're saying, but y'all should have been did that. Should have been bucked and take
black people should have been rose up, and black people ain't rose up nothing. So nobody black can say about what nobody should have rose up, because niggas is getting their heads stomped on. Okay, by Asians, by white folk, by Arabs, by Muslims, by everybody. Can't no nigga say, well, who should have stood up? Because niggas is still at the damn bottom.
You're right, but
everybody.
We gonna leave it. We gonna leave it there. I love y'all.
Love you, baby.
Y'all take care now. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Take care, y'all.
Oh, that was good. Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you.
I love how they talked and they kept it respectful. I really would love that conversation in more detail, but we would be here all night. But damn. Ooh-wee. What's going on, Imani? Oh, hey, you got yourself muted. You gotta
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How you doing?
Good. First and foremost, I want to say Kenneth, he did really well with explaining all that to our fellow Black person, Ray. Like, she did really well. He did really well. I do want to mention two things. I have 2 points. I want to make sure everyone knows that we're all not the same. Like, all Black people are not the same. All gay people are not the same. When it comes to their community, you have people like Saucy Santana, and then you have people like my favorite YouTubers, Kevin and Mikkel. Like, you have you have spectrums within all these different types of communities. So when she's saying, why are they out? Why are they acting like that? There's also gay people who do not act like that. So I just didn't understand where she was coming from with that, because
I can't. Let me explain. Let me explain. Because for some people, right, everybody don't understand or even know about the spectrum of, like you just said, sexuality, gender expression, etc. So to her, and a lot of people feel this way, they're like, wait a minute, if you gay, just be gay. Why do you have to tell me? So that's really what she's saying. Like, if you gay, it ain't none of my business. Just be a regular person. But then gay people are saying, this is the real me. So it's like they're both misunderstanding each other. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I get what you're saying, but I just want to remind people, you can't tell everybody, you can't tell when someone's gay all the time. You cannot tell that all the time. No.
You really can't. And a lot of people that y'all think would never be gay, it's mostly women that watch me. I promise y'all, if I told y'all about the stuff that goes down in the locker room, you would be looking at all your niggas a little weird. That's all I'm saying.
For real. And we've seen movies. What was it? Moonlight? Like, we've seen movies. You would not think. I mean, there's a whole thing going on with DL men. Like, you do not know when someone is gay or not. So I just say you have to cut it. You have to cut that out. You have to. That's why we went in on the baby. Like, for those specific reasons. It's just misinformation. You cannot tell when someone has HIV or not. You know what I mean?
That is true. That is true. What he said made no sense. It was just dumb. It was just dumb. It made no sense. It made, of all the things, but like Passionate said, I think he was throwing shade at somebody and that shit just went left.
Yeah, it really did. It backfired. My last thing that I did want to bring up was the gay agenda. Okay. And honestly, yes, I do believe there's a gay agenda, But with the gay community, they know how to gather for a cause and get it done. For instance, they already have legislation. Biden signed off on legislation in the White House. You know,
I can believe it. They sign off on everything except shit for us.
But since with the Black community, we have that history of, you know, the divisiveness, light skin, black skin. We just have a history of divisiveness that is traumatizing our community. Like, we cannot get anything done. I mean, some people believe they don't. I feel like everyone needs therapy, but you still have people that don't think they need therapy. Same thing with Boosie. I mean, Boosie need to be in court low key. Like, he needs to be on trial.
He does. And see, the thing is, his son and his nephew is already 18. He told the story years later. But yeah, that nigga, that was molestation, rape.
Right. Literally. And guess what? In in other communities, they want to be like, hey, Boosie, like, let's continue to play your music. But in our community, we give everybody passes. I mean, come on now. Like, what are you talking about? You paid a prostitute, like, and the other person made a point. Did they get tested before they was messing with your kids? Like, that's not okay.
No, and I'm gonna say this. I don't think it was a prostitute. I don't think the boys hit her raw, but I think she sucked them off raw. So that's the difference. I mean, you can still spread shit, but I'm trying to put it in context for y'all. I don't think the boys hit her raw, but she sucked them off raw for sure. She did.
So, I mean, it's still wrong at the end of the day.
It is.
It's still wrong. And it's like his fascination of the kids. I saw a meme today. It said, we watched The Fresh Prince, we watched The Cosby Show, we watched all these shows, and y'all ain't there for your kids. Your kids ain't in college. Like, just because you see someone that is gay on TV, that doesn't mean your children are going to be gay.
That's a good point.
Like,
that's a good point.
Your children. Like, we watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. How many in the community?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like my parents was born in 71 and 72. They grew up watching them shows with a wife and husband that was in the house. That shit didn't work out for them. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I give you that.
Is that it really? My whole thing is, you want people to be truthful. You want them to be honest. When they give you that's why people lie. That's why people cheat. Just so they cannot hear the rejection. You want people to be themselves, but when they're themselves, it's like, why are you acting like that?
Because people want you to be who they think you should be, what they see you as. So it's anytime you're pushing the lines, people don't know how to take it.
And I see people in the comments saying you need to stop comparing the Black community to the LGBT community. Listen, both of them are identities. They're what makes a person. That's like me I need to stop comparing the Black community to my women's rights when I'm a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a space, I'm considered a Black woman. So all the identities that I take on, gotta be compared. They're what oppresses me. I'm oppressed because I'm a woman. I'm oppressed because I'm a Black person. So
it's oppression. It's oppression. I will say
they don't understand it. It's oppression.
Right. But here's the only thing. No, here's the only thing I gotta say. If you Black, we ain't got no way of hiding that shit. Like, unless you're like ambiguous looking, right? And you ain't gotta claim it. But if you we ain't got no. If you gay, technically you could hide that, and I could never know. Technically, that's the only difference. That's the only difference. But I hear you though. I hear you. Thank you, Imani. I'm gonna see what Graduated Thought got to say. Have a good night. Bye. Graduated Thought, you are up. You have to. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine, Storm.
Hey, how you doing
Can you
tonight?
hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm doing wonderful. I'll speak quickly. I don't know how deep you want to go into this conversation because I do have facts
Let's go.
and
Let's go.
documentation. Um, let's start from the beginning. Um, 1452, Doctrine of Discovery, Papal Bull. Um, a lot of you in the chat that are claiming to be Christians, I need you to fully understand what that means. When you say you're Christian, are you a Catholic Christian who contributed to the enslavement of every black and brown race on this continent and this world? Are you a Christian who's been indoctrinated to follow and believe and worship white people so that you will stay subjugated? I need you to ask that of yourself first and foremost. Um, let's look at history and for the young man that was on there. I never want to down or diminish anybody's experience, especially that of our brothers, but I'm going to need you to speak from a factual point of view instead of from your feelings. When it comes to sexuality in the black culture, a lot of times that's not something that we choose. When you say you've always known, did you know as a child because someone taught you what sexuality was? Because children are not aware of sexuality and sexual difference. And just from my own conversations and my own, journey through education with people within the LGBTQIA plus community, a lot of them have been the victims of sexual predators at a young age, at a particular age when you're forming your sexual identity. If you're being molested at 2 and 3 years old, and then at 5, you're saying, I'm gay, were you really gay? Did you really have a choice? I need people to do that education for themselves. Because when we come into these conversations, we're coming in from our own experience, but we're not coming from a standpoint of what's really happening in the world. Do we want to talk about how pedophiles are now rebranding themselves as MAPs, minor attracted adults, and how they're soliciting
Yeah,
children and
yeah.
trying to attach themselves to the LGBTQIA community? Are we talking about that? Are we talking about one of the founders, one of the people who was responsible for putting the LGBT community to the forefront, actually being a part of NAMBLA? Are we talking about that? When we jump on these bandwagons,
Oh,
when
wait a
we
minute, wait a minute.
decide,
Let me hop in because I got a question. I'm gonna let you go. Continue. I got a question.
sure.
Okay. Damn it, I don't want to miss. Okay. Are you? And I haven't read the stats. I've heard people say two different answers. So let me ask you. I haven't read the stats. Are you saying that the majority of people who identify as LGBTQIA plus had some kind of sexual trauma at some point?
For that, I'm not going to say that a majority, but there has been very few, if any, studies to show one way or another. And I
Okay.
find that very concerning,
Hmm.
because if we're
Okay.
supposed to go into this mode of pure acceptance, I have no problem with accepting anyone in any walk of life, in any way of life. But if you are the victim of some sort of abuse, and you want me to support you in continuing on and mimicking that abuse throughout your life in your choices when you didn't have a choice as a child, that I have a problem with. And I'm not gonna put that on everyone, but I do need people to do that inner work first before you go charging full steam ahead and say that people don't like you because of this. Because there were a few things that gentleman Kenneth said that really disturbed me, especially when we still have laws in the books going back to the 1600s and 1700s and the 1800s saying that it was legal to rape black women, that black
Hmm.
women were the only ones you could rape and not be harmed, not be killed, not be lynched. So when you speak of these things, I need you to do that work first. A lot of our history has been hidden from us, but there are people in our community that have been doing that work. So
Hmm.
I just need that to be clear. Sexual expression, it's a part of human nature, but
Let
that
me let
does
me
not mean that it can't be corrupted at some point,
now let me
and it
ask you
can't
this.
be sold.
Right.
In,
I hear you. I'm sorry, but I gotta ask you this too. And I'm gonna let you keep going because
mm.
you I love your speaking voice, by the way. Let me say that. Um,
Oh, thank you, so.
so Treasure commented, she said homosexuality is not of our culture. Don't let that go over your head. I've heard young Pharaoh say that. So I'm gonna ask you, are there any is there any proof of homosexuality in Africa, or are we only seeing it originate in like Greece, Italy, Rome, etc.?
It existed in the Americas. It exists in nature. It exists in the animal kingdom. Um, for a long time, it was seen as an aberration, depending on the community that you're from. But what I would ask that young lady is, what culture are you a part of? What is the
Mm,
Black culture, but what has been dictated and sold and commercialized to you? What is your
okay.
culture? And then I can fully answer that question. If you're talking about the Native American culture, there were two-spirited people. In Africa, there were men who would take on the role of a wife for a warrior whose wife died in childbirth and help support him in raising his child.
Oh
When you
wow.
speak about homosexuality, you have to think of it outside of the purely sexual context and the purpose of a person of a homosexual persuasion within the greater community. Everybody has a place and a purpose within the community. It is not purely to exist for your behavior for the hell of it. I know we do a lot of things because of free will, doest thou wilt be the whole of the law. And hold on, I'm seeing what she's saying here. Yeah, there are gay people everywhere. There are trans people everywhere. It's existed for a long time. But again, when you talk about homosexuality within an American context, a lot of things have been corrupted. When you talk about
Mm,
sexuality, period, within an American context, it's extremely corrupt because we live in excess. We do things because they feel good without any thought to how we're damaging or upholding our communities. So when
I
we
hear
have
you.
these conversations, I just want everybody to be clear about where they are coming from themselves when they're hearing this information. So and when they're expressing themselves, I want everybody to feel comfortable in having these conversations because they're important.
Me
We
too.
need
Me
to be
too.
talking to each other. And I appreciate you so much for even letting me speak about this. I'm a long time listener. It's the first time I've called in, but I couldn't stay silent um, because
Thank you.
I could see both sides of that conversation. But what was lacking from both of them was just education on the topic. You can be a part of a community and not fully understand it. Black men, Asian men are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the American homosexual community.
Mm,
They are fetishized. They are, and Kenneth would probably speak to this when it comes to finding true love, companionship within that community. It's usually reserved for white men because it is in effect an extension of the patriarchy. What is the ultimate form of the patriarchy but to worship a white man? That is the highest on the totem pole, so to speak, when it comes to gay culture in America. Okay, and I want to make sure I'm prefacing this with America because that is the lens that we're working within. This may be different in other countries, and I welcome that conversation.
I hear you. Well, let me say this graduated thought. Let me move on to Brandy here. And I thank you for your thoughts tonight. I thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for supporting.
Oh, no problem.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, Brandy, what's your thoughts tonight?
Hi. Oh
How
my
you
gosh.
doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What's
You
your
know what?
thoughts
I
tonight?
missed the live. I just was like tuning into what everybody was saying about. I guess what are we talking about?
So we were talking about Boosie versus Lil Nas X. Boosie feels like Lil Nas X was wrong for displaying homosexuality in front of children. Boosie said, "I would have beat his ass if he had got naked on that stage." Boosie has no issue with women eating each other out on IG for $1,000. How you feel?
Right, and doing lies with the booby showing.
Right.
So what I feel about that is there is we already discussed an agenda being pushed about sexuality and same sex, groups of people, which is fine, but it's a difference when it's being like advertised to you or to our younger generations.
Okay, explain to me, because I hear a lot of people say agenda, and then I
Yeah.
hear a lot of gay people say, "What agenda are you talking about?" So tell us from your perspective, how do you see an agenda?
Right. So like that's a touchy subject, especially from a person that is not a part of that umbrella of LGBTQ. I just feel like we are coming into a time where that is normal and that is fine, but when it's pushed, it's a difference. Like COVID, for example. Okay, COVID vaccinations. Okay, cool. If you want to take the vaccinations, cool. But there's a difference between it being an option and then it being pushed. So when I say agenda, I guess that's where I'm coming from, where it is in a term of being advertised and pushed and in your face all the time. There's nothing wrong with if you like same sex or if you like a man and you're a man or if you like women and you're a woman or if you like whatever. But it's a difference when it's being advertised like something to pursue. That's just like sex in general, even when things are like pushed as different sex, like a man wanting a woman or a woman wanting a man, like when it's pushed too soon or like when it's being marketed to younger folks or even just, I don't know, when it's being marketed in a way, it's not tasteful to me.
So do you not like it being shown in front of kids? Because if you're a grown person, if you're a grown person, you're watching Empire, right? And you see excuse me. Where the fuck I get Jesse Lee from? That's the YouTuber. You see you're right. You see Jussie Smollett, in the gay scene. That's not gonna change your sexuality unless you see that and it turns you on, and then you feel some kind of way. Or are you saying, like, as far as children, you don't want children to see it?
A simple scene in a show or a movie, I don't think that's pushing an agenda. It's where it becomes a point, like I brought up COVID, for example, where it's like everywhere you turn your head, it's just like a marketing for it. It's push.
Everybody's talking about it. Okay.
Exactly. Like it's beyond, okay, a scene in a movie or a scene in a show. It's like, it's to a point where it's like annoying. Like every time you turn your head, just like the race issue. It's a lot of race topics that are pushed too on social media. Like the Karens. The Karens is another thing that is being like pushed in society where it's like black versus white or, like that. Okay, there's racial tension, but it's not that reoccurring as they make it seem to be. I can go out in regular life and have a normal day. And then sometimes Karens pursue white people as well, but that's not being shown. It's always shown in the advertisement of them attacking us, not them attacking themselves. I live in a white neighborhood and I've seen white women, like poking at other white people. It's not just about Karens being Karens to black people. I'm not saying that it is not relevant, but
right.
it doesn't just happen to us.
The only
So
thing the only thing people will probably shoot back at you and say is they would say, "Well, I was born gay. You're not born with COVID." So they would probably say, "Don't compare this."
in the next 10 years, that might be true though. People probably be born with COVID.
Hey, you never know. I hear you, Brandy. I'm gonna say this. You got the girls out tonight, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. But thank you for calling. Thank you for calling in. You have a good night, okay?
You too. Thank you.
All right. Good night. All right. So Brandy feels like a lot of people feel. I see it everywhere. Why? Okay. Next we got y'all so damn shady. I'm gonna bring Gwen up first because Gwen was up before the other two. What's going on, Gwen?
Hey, how you doing? I can't believe I'm talking to you.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
I was sipping on something, but I have my thoughts really quickly, so let me share them with you. So we've been talking a lot. I've been hearing a lot about the LGBTQ community. I call them the LGBTQ mafia. I'm LGBTQ adjacent, so I can say that, okay?
Okay.
So
okay.
I want to suggest something, and I think I'm gonna get canceled before I make my YouTube debut, but I want to propose something to the I want to propose something. I think that if you look at it, I'm coming from a psychological and in anthropology perspective.
Okay.
Black people are the only social group of people without an agenda. So to me, it makes sense that, of course, we think that everybody else's agenda is to come for us. When I say Black people, I mean, you can hear my accent. I'm not originally American. I'm African. But if you look at white people, Asian people, Jewish people, Hispanic people, Chinese people, all of them have a collective agenda. You don't need to go around asking them what it is. They have that. We don't have that. So because we don't have that, we don't understand that there's a constant struggle for power when you're in this world. Right now, white people rule. So they get to make the rules. They get to stay on top because they have to maintain that top. So it's not something that's a given. And because everybody is constantly trying to influence one another, of course, it makes sense that everybody's pushing an agenda. What I have to ask is, what is the agenda that Black people are pushing? What is the agenda that we are collectively pushing?
I don't even know if we come together collectively to push anything.
Exactly. So it makes sense that, of course, we think everybody else is coming for us because we don't have a one direction to go in. We're all scattered around. So it makes sense that we see enemies coming from all sides. So to me, is there a gay or non-gay agenda? I don't know. I don't really know. But to me, I think it makes sense that because we don't have a clear goal in mind, we can see how everybody else is coming for us. White people have a goal in mind. Jewish people have a goal in mind. Italian people have a goal in mind. Asian people have a goal in mind. What goal do we have in mind as a collective? And if you can answer me that, then maybe I can consider a gay agenda. But until you can tell me what the Black agenda is, then you can't talk to me about everybody else's agenda because apparently we know what everybody else is doing except us.
Now, Constance said our agenda is pushing victimhood.
I think she's onto something. I really do. Because that's all we sit around doing. And when I say we, I don't want to get into another conversation here. I'm talking specifically, I'm looking at Black men. I'm like, that's what we're doing. We're just sitting around and just pushing the victim narrative. What agenda are we pushing except to point out what other agenda other people are pushing?
I'm gonna say this, and I thank you for coming on tonight, and you're really cute. I don't know what's wrong. I should not have had these drinks. I'm just looking at everybody like, damn, you look good. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Not wrong.
Yeah, you know, I'm not mad at it. What part of Africa are you from?
I'm from Cameroon, Central.
Ah, nice. I mean, look, I took a little DNA test and said I'm Cameroonian, so I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it at all.
Hey.
But Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Sitting up here flirting. Oh, here it is. Okay, I remember. All right. So I'm wondering if maybe why Black people don't control more things is because we're not willing to do what white people did. White people killed, pillaged, etc. to really run the world.
Mm-hmm.
And are we really willing to do that? Like, we want reparations, right? How we think we gonna get that without bloodshed?
And I think that's the most uncomfortable question we're not willing to ask ourselves as a whole. Because to me, again, this might be controversial, but this is a dog eat dog world. Nobody is going to come around and give us what we want. Either you take it or it's not given to you. We're waiting for something that's never going to happen. That's the truth.
Yeah, I hear you. Because think about it, right? They said there was no money for it, and we've given out how much in PPP loans, COVID relief.
War in Afghanistan that could have saved the homeless and fed all of us 20 years into the future. So it's not about money. It's just about we don't want to give it to them. And to me, that's the truth. No matter what politicians kind of spin at us, no matter what we want to tell ourselves, no matter what Black leaders we want to push, into the political realm. The truth of the matter is nobody is going to give us what we think we're owed. It's never going to happen because by definition, this world is built on, I want to get into all the isms, but the most of it is racism. And
Yeah,
Black people are the bottom of the totem pole. That is the truth. It hurts, but it's the truth.
it's
And
the
until
truth.
we grasp that, until we're able to kind of be like, wow, we lost last round. Let's see what we can do to get back to the next round and make sure that we're able to, fight, defend ourselves, make sure we build for ourselves. We're not going to come to the truth. We keep begging at a system that we keep recognizing is not recognizing. And to me, that doesn't make sense.
I hear you. Thank you, Gwen. You have a good night. Okay.
Thank you so much. You too.
Bye bye. Oh man, how many drinks did I have today? I'm flirting with everybody. Kaya's wig, you're up.
What's up? How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm laughing at your screen name. I already know.
I mean, like, it's immature and as basic as the screen name is. The shit I'm going to say is going to be hella relevant. Promise.
Okay, I hear you. Go for it.
I want to start with Gwen. She was very, very beautiful, and she made a very interesting point. She says, what is the Black agenda? Gwen, I don't know you very well, but you were probably someone who had some connections in America to even get here. So you don't really know much about our agenda because you probably don't really fuck with us like that, but that's a different story altogether. So like there is a Black American agenda. The problem is we are too busy talking about colorism and featureism and what the gay Blacks are doing and all this. We're easily fractured. They've been doing this in slavery. If any of you, and I know many of you have, went to college, you all studied your history, you know that's how they did it. That's how they did it during slavery. Light-skinned niggas, y'all gonna be in the house being the butlers. Dark-skinned niggas, we're gonna have y'all out in the field. And if we can keep y'all always beefing with each other on some level, how can you really have an effective agenda? You're gonna have ideas, have a bunch of ideas.
Right.
No cohesion is there. What are you really doing?
You ain't doing shit.
Now, so Gwen makes some interesting points. She's coming from the perspective of a person who is not necessarily a part of the Black American experience, but her criticism does have some weight. I mean, she makes some interesting points. But before I go, I do want to touch a little bit on Boosie and also just how our community accept predators. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I haven't been watching the whole show. Maybe someone else said it. Maybe somebody said it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Boosie is a pedophile. He is a straight up pedophile. By definition, when you look up most of your state codes when it comes down to child sexual abuse, anytime you on purpose try to sexually stimulate a child for any reason, that is child molestation. He essentially engaged in group sex with his 12-year-old and 14-year-old. He said that the bitch sucked his dick too. So that is group sex. You had group sex with underage boys.
She did him first. I don't know if they was all in the same room.
Do we got any evidence proving otherwise?
We don't.
Proving otherwise.
We know she did him first. That's all we know. They could have ran the train for all I fucking know.
Which is still group sex. If one person come after the other, that's still group sex. You having group sex with fucking kids. I don't even like talking to kids, let alone having fucking group sex. What are you talking about? So like, right? I mean, like the issue that I'm having with the whole people like Boosie, you know, Boosie's and the R. Kellys and shit, they have been protected for a long time. And you saw Boosie was talking all that shit about Michael Jackson, knowing damn well if Michael Jackson was alive, he would have shut his black ass up. But, you know, he's dead. You can't really do nothing. He ain't got power like that. He can't, you know, send you to the upper room. Because if Michael Jackson was a stone cold pedophile, I'm confident he would have sent somebody to the upper room. He had money like that, but that's a whole different story. But Boosie kept focusing on how much of him being a pedophile and all this stuff. But then he talks about having group sex with kids, and then I see black men, my straight black brothers. What we gonna do with y'all? Like, y'all got an excuse for everything. Y'all got an excuse for Kells. You got an excuse for fucking Tory Lanez, and y'all got an excuse for everybody. I'm like, damn, who don't y'all got an excuse for besides the black gay men? Those are the only people you ain't got many excuses for. But I really feel like we need to stop calling these people as eccentric. We need to stop elevating these dumb niggas as our spokesperson. Why the hell is a person like a Boosie or a T.I. our spokesperson? We got too many intelligent black women and black men who actually learned some shit, who actually spend time in the community building it up. And we could elevate them. So, I mean, that's what's bothering me. I just had to get it off my chest, get it out my wig, and I'm feeling a lot better.
No, I hear you. And you stated your points eloquently, and I agree with you definitely when it comes to these ignorant ass people being our spokesperson. Diddy don't speak for us. T.I. don't speak for us. Whoever the hell else. Like, they don't speak for us. Like, no. Now Kenneth wanted to ask you what exactly is the Black agenda?
Oh, I can help you. I can definitely explain that to you. First of all, the whole system of Jim Crow isn't gone. For those of you who study any social science, you already know that the system of Jim Crow has only been made low key. You can tell when you don't get that loan that you know you need credit for. You can tell when you're rejected by that apartment that you know your credit is for. You know you got the money for, but somehow you got rejected. Wonder why? You wonder why? See, it's that low key Jim Crow. We getting rid of all that. That's got to go. Number one. Before we start talking about reparations, that little low key shit that white people like to do, you know, trying to be cute, shit ain't cute. We see it. Other white people see. Even the white people getting sick of their asses. White people is getting sick of white people. So the point I'm trying to make is this. First of all, we're getting rid of the low key Jim Crow. We can talk more about housing. We can talk more about credit. But I think some of you guys already know. Some of you probably got personal experiences. That's one thing. Next thing on the agenda, I see somebody talking shit. You need to wait 1 second. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to show you how to get to Sesame Street if you just wait a minute. First thing, you got to get your credit straight. Second thing we need to do is, you know, don't you think we've paid enough in taxes? I mean, I feel like since we're so financially disadvantaged, I think we need to be financially advantaged to some point. Seeing as we don't have any type of generational wealth, I think for the first 30 years of your life, you shouldn't pay no taxes. How about that? If you're an African American who can descend from the slaves of America, you shouldn't pay taxes for 30 years. I'll pay some taxes afterwards.
I'm a praise dance today because I ain't even gonna tell you how much I gave him this year. Shit.
I'm like, as soon as I got my master's degree, I was lit. I was like, shit, I'm gonna start making money. Man, let me stop before they shut your whole channel down. If I told you how I really felt when I looked at how much money they take from me, I'm like, y'all trying to get me back to the damn soup kitchen. But we won't have that. But here's the other thing. So taxes, credit. The other thing that I feel African Americans need, we need money. Like reparations isn't just a check. You're not going to just give me $200 and say that's reparations. Reparations is a package. It's a whole package. I need no taxes. I need motherfucking the end of the invisible Jim Crow. I need at least 100K for everybody once they turn 18. I feel like that's a good step in the right direction. Now, you fuck over your money, that's your business. But that gives you an opportunity to get something that a lot of these white kids get. It's called, being bequeathed money. And just to put things in perspective, Reynolds Wrap? The Reynolds
Yes.
Wrap, everybody used Reynolds Wrap. That was a
Yeah.
big slave family that created Reynolds Wrap. How much money do you think they made? How much money do you think they still making? Yeah,
Zero. Yeah.
we need our checks. That's how I'm looking at it. So that's part of the agenda. Kenneth, if you have better ideas, since you're a contrarian, feel free to call in, or not. You're probably not. But I
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
How do you feel about for reparations, like how the Native Americans have their reservations? How do you feel about Black
Nah,
reservations?
that was a scam. No. Look into how they did the reservations. Child, they was taking people's kids off. They was basically kidnapping their kids and saying, "Guess what? We're about to chop off all your hair, and you're gonna learn to be white." When they had them on the reservations, they had them on the reservations to basically eliminate them. And you see what happened. So no, I don't want to go to no reservation. I helped build this motherfucker. You're not gonna banish me to the woods. Absolutely not. You're gonna see my black ass face in every one of these Chick-fil-A's. Yes, you're gonna see my black ass face in any one of these stores. Yes, you will. Get over it. But you still don't need my money. Period.
Now, I will say when it comes to the Pima County, the Pima County Indians in Scottsdale, Arizona, before you get deep into Scottsdale, out where like you see like the casinos and stuff.
Yes.
The way, because I used to work with those kids and those families. So
Yes.
that particular tribe, they live on the reservation. They basically look like projects to me. Like when you look at them, they look like projects, right?
They look worse than projects.
Well, I can say these in particular because I've been inside them. So they look like projects. But here's the thing: they pay no rent. They pay no utilities except like maybe a cable bill, and they get a little subsidy every month, and they have free health care. So I know for a lot of tribes, while we see like, damn, they addicted to drugs, alcohol, it's because they get enough money to where they don't have to work ever. They don't have to worry about a doctor's bill ever. So I almost wonder, like, for us, if we were to get a subsidy, free health care, how would we be as a people? I think it would be beneficial, but I'm just saying.
I'm hearing what you're saying, but they're not gonna give me food stamps and tell me to be happy. So here's the thing: I live in Arizona. I live in Scottsdale, South Scottsdale, Arizona. I know exactly what you're talking about. When you hit the 101, once you get past the 101, you get to that reservation. And when I say it looks worse than the ghetto, ladies and gentlemen, it's not like how the ghettos are like stacked on one on top of each other. It'd be like a house and everything is just completely gutted and an open ass yard. They got motherfucking coyotes running all around it. It's not what you think, people. It's not what you want. Like, the people are leaving the reservations, and if you ever look at what's going on the reservations, I'm not saying that this is a cultural thing, but because of the way it was set up, there is a lot of rampant sex abuse. Generational incest, crazy wild shit, and you know it, dude, because you work with them. You know I'm not lying to you. So
I mean, all kinds of abuse. We had to take a lot of their kids because they was like, it was literally so many families of like literally a drunk ass mom, drug addicted dad, beating the hell out of each other, and just gave no fucks about the kids. Like that was a real thing, like for real.
No fucks. They was comfortably not giving a fuck. You want to know why they were comfortably not giving a fuck? Because the white man broke them. They broke them. They are broken. I'm not saying that like ha 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 ha. I'm like, this is what could happen. Like, that shit is real. Like, when you meet a lot of people who got off the reservation and they've developed their own self and kind of made their own start, I'm not saying that you can't do it, but it's hard. Just like it's hard to come from the inner city, especially when you have all these things, all these barriers in your way. How can you be a great college student if your mama and dad are getting drunk, literally fighting in the middle of the street, getting arrested every other day. Like
You can't. You can't.
And this is unfortunate. You can, but it's fucking hard. It's super hard. It's the hardest thing that you can do. And everybody isn't built the same way. Everybody doesn't have the same kind of insight. Like some people are really strong, but all people aren't built the same, and all people can't persevere.
I hear you, and I'm just showing them pictures of it. Okay, let me take that down. I'm just showing them pictures of it. So, look, I hear you. I hear you, and you brought up some good points. I want to say thank you for coming on. Your screen name had me a little worried. I was like, please don't get me on the docket. Just please.
No, we're not gonna get you on a docket. I felt like we covered a lot of interesting topics. I'm about to go back to my wine. I'm drinking some cheap ass wine, ladies and gentlemen. For our good sis Tasha K, I'm drinking, what is this? The blueberry fruit Scotto from Barefoot. Barefoot is usually nasty, but this fruit Scotto, it goes in. It was nice talking to you guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night now. Hey, I appreciate Kai's Wig coming on. Look, I want to say thank you guys tonight for having this uncomfortable conversation. I can't wait to see what the comments are going to say about this. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to have a platform where everybody can come on and speak freely, because we can't come to an understanding if people are scared to say how they feel from their perspective. So that's that. I'm going to call that a night. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys